Hello and welcome. This is a new interview with a very good friend of mine, Dane Osorio, a spiritual healer and shaman who lives in Toronto, Canada. I have the good fortune to meet Dane many years ago when I was still living in Toronto. And today we're going to have this interview where he's going to share with us his beautiful journey and how he was doing at the beginning of our journey together and how he's doing today. Welcome to our interview today, Dane. How are you today?
I'm really well, Roberto. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure to reconnect with you, even though we don't see each other often, but it is a beautiful love and a beautiful energy that we have for each other. And every time we connect, it feels like we have been in touch all the time, consistently. So I would like to start the interview with just asking you to briefly introduce yourself and share a little bit of who you are and what you do.
Yeah, my name is Dane, and I'm a father. I'm a sacred space holder. I'm a modern day curandero shaman. I have a lineage from Colombia, and I guide leaders, seekers, those that are ready to come back to their heart's truth through sacred ceremony with plant medicine, breath work, nature's rhythms, and what I call grounded spirituality and practical shamanic mentorship. And I'm also still a student and a seeker myself, and I'm continuously working on myself to refine and to continue walking in a line in an integral path.
That's great. Well, I'm happy to see how your life has unfolded in a direction that resonates more with your soul purpose and mission. So that's very, very fulfilling for me to see in you. Now, I'd like to start our story together from the past. So the first question would be, how did you find me or come across my work, and what made you decide begin this healing journey?
Yeah, so I came across you through my mother, who had come across you through one of her patients. One of her clients had mentioned you, and I believe you and my mother connected. And I think my mother kind of intuitively felt that we had to connect. I'm really grateful that we did.
And at that time, what was that aspect that made you feel that inspiration to go forward in that direction? Because a lot of people, hear about potential healers or practitioners that can be helpful for them, but they don't, move forward. So for that part of you, how it felt at that time?
Yeah, at that time, I was really seeking guidance. I was really confused. I was seeking mentorship and I was seeking, I would say, direction and a safe space from a male, which had been very foreign to me. And so the fact that you were kind of speaking our language, that you were so grounded and just present with me, I felt the connection and I felt that from a deeper place that I had to connect with you further.
Perfect. So at that time, what were you struggling with emotionally, mentally, or even spiritually? You remember that time, how it was for you, how it felt for you?
Yeah, it feels like many deaths and rebirths ago. Uh, in that time, I felt a little lost. I felt like I was spinning my wheels, like I was doing and doing and doing a lot, but not really getting anywhere. I had a deep kind of trust and faith, but mentally, I felt like I wasn't doing enough. I wasn't getting anywhere, and it felt very heavy. It felt like the weight of the world. It was on my shoulders. I didn't know how I was going to get to where I wanted to go. I didn't know how I was going to, evolve into who I wanted to be. I just knew that I had to keep showing up, and in that time, there was a lot of moving parts for me. Being in my, it was I would believe I was in my mid 20s, and I was a young father, and I was a young entrepreneur, and I wanted to switch careers to follow my heart, follow my purpose, and I didn't know how it was going to happen. So I felt very, scattered, and I felt very, yeah, like I said, a little bit lost.
And how were those blocks showing up in your relationships, health, or life purpose? What would you say about that?
I felt a lack of connection with others. I felt a lack of connection with my heart because I felt very cerebral. I felt like in my head a lot. Yeah, it really felt like I was in a world that not everyone kind of understood what I understood. No, like not that many people could relate to what I was relating to, and I felt very lonely.
Well, you were supported in that thinking with your mom, I guess, right? So it was at least somebody in the family was on the same page with you, in
Yes,
alignment with
for sure.
that thinking. Okay,
For
that's
sure.
great.
I mean, my mom was my guiding light for sure. And she was the reminder to still show up and to trust. And yeah, very grateful for her to kind of keep me on track. It was a closed circle, It
Mhm.
was really
Yeah.
my mom and I and a couple of close friends.
All right. So at that time, did you try any other approaches before we met? And from those, what was missing for you in those experiences?
At that time, I was already meditating. So I was doing meditation, which helped. Meditation felt kind of stagnant, I would say. It was not getting me to where I wanted to go. But in that version of me, I just wanted to get somewhere. Meditation did help, but it wasn't getting me to where I wanted to go. I was doing yoga at the time as well, experimenting with it. And as well, like I'd feel good in that hour. And then afterwards, kind of not understanding really like the true essence of yoga at that time. So it was very westernized. That wasn't really getting me where I wanted to go. Of course, I was working with my mom. Like she would support me in the ways that I was allowing her to support me. But even that mother son relationship and then having a work relationship at the same time created plateaus or created ceilings to a certain extent. I was very fascinated with with spirituality and expansion of consciousness. So I was, reading some books and stuff like that. But again, that was just taking in knowledge. So not really knowing how to apply it effectively. So I was taking care of my physical health to a certain degree. I did have a lot more energy then, in the sense of still able to go to the gym and work out and play soccer, which was very helpful to move different energy. Yeah, those were the main things I was doing amongst like having conversations with those that are around us that were working with us at our healing space at the time.
That's great. I just want to share with our community that when I met Dane, something that really I felt in a very deep way because I am a clairsentient. I feel what people feel. It was this deep sense of discontentment. And that when we were working through the sessions, I wasn't sure why was he was feeling that. And it was because at that time he was not really doing what he loves to do. He was dedicating his life to a different career path that was not in tune with his gifts and purpose. And he was trying to get out of that, but he couldn't. He was, like I said, stuck. So it was really a very intense energy that I felt in you then at that time, that energy of feeling discontent, of feeling like you were not really happy with that life choice. So how long do you think it took for you to start shifting that sense within you um, after we started doing the work? I think it would be important also if you can share a little bit how was your first session, and then since then, how it was unfolding that shift, that opportunity to change in your life.
Our first session kind of blew me away. Didn't really know what to expect. It felt if it seemed very far out there, but at the same time, like I resonated with it, and I like at a soul level, I really kind of understood it, even though I didn't know what was going on really at the time. Well, I had it in a sense, but like, I was familiar with energy work. I should say I was working with Reiki at the time, so I did feel it at an energetic level, and I felt it, and I understood it at an energetic level. And so, you know, the, the sessions would uncover things that I were like in my blind spots that I had no awareness of, that was kind of like hijacking how I was making decisions and how I was feeling, and helping me to get to the root cause of a discontentment or the feeling unsatisfied with where I was at. And so that really helped me get to the deeper roots of these things that were able to help me shift perspective, to help me cut cords to people, to beliefs, to things I've inherited. And that had many layers to it. And every session would uncover something deeper or something else, or see where I'm still holding on to certain things. So there was there was a way of kind of gauging where I was at with certain things by questions that you would ask me in the deep processes at an energetic level, to see what I was still kind of attached to, or what was still holding power over me, or I was allowing that to hold power over me. So it felt like a ceremony every session. And when I look back now, I was like, wow, those were intense. And being in a pretty lucid state, like almost sleeping but still conscious, and like just being in that realm of spaciousness, we'll call it, where I'm able to connect with parts of myself that in the day to day, when I'm busy and I'm doing things, it's hard to actually connect to those parts of myself. It felt very ceremonial in that aspect of like taking a break beyond space and time to be with what's there under the layers. And it was, yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a little weird. It was profound. It was definitely pretty mind blowing. the things that would come up in the sessions and how they would relate to how I was operating in the day to days. So yeah, it gave me a lot to unpack afterwards as well, and to implement into my life from that level of consciousness that I had at that time.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that. I just want to mention to our audience that when the person begins the session, I take them into a very deep state of relaxation that is similar to regression, but the difference is that the person is fully aware, but at the same time, they are very deep, very connected with the inner world. And that's where we both of us can start identifying things and working together, clearing things that we find. So that was a good element to share. Thank you, Dan. Now, the next question, were there any specific tools or techniques that we used that made a strong impact with you?
Yeah, I think that the most powerful thing for me is identifying the contracts that I've had in my life with either people or belief systems, and to actually to mentally bring those contracts into some kind of form allowed me to really help cancel those contracts. So that found that tool to be very effective, because it really kind of brings it into the third dimension to a certain degree, even though we're still kind of out of the 3D. I am in my 3D body, kind of relating to it, and helping me to clear those contracts. And those contracts felt like cords that I'd have to either a belief system or to an ideology or to a person or to a trauma. And that in itself was a beautiful tool and practice that I would be able to come back to as well in between sessions, to like see, okay, is that contract still there? How do I still relate to this contract? Did I fully clear that contract, or am I still holding on to it? So that aspect of it I felt to be extremely profound and very effective.
That-
Um, yeah.
Now, as you know, I offer in the sessions a mix of energy healing, but also spiritual coaching. How did that combination supported you in your own process?
I think it was what really spoke to me the most was, I would say, having a safe space to share, having a safe space to have things come up and feel the trust in the space. It was very trustworthy space, very sacred. So I feel like that in itself helped me a lot, especially coming from a male, in which my previous relationship with males were of more of like authority and like, am I getting in trouble or am I not getting in trouble? Uh, and or mistrust, whether being betrayed or just being made fun of or bullied by other men. So having that space really helped me to settle in, to bring up the things that needed to come up. And the questions that you asked me, it was very direct, and it wasn't a lot of sugarcoating. It was like specific questions that you're asking me that were brilliant, and that helped me think, and to help me really feel into the parts that were needing attention and needing, some fine tuning or healing or whatever, clearing. So the coaching aspect of it too was great, to even have some things to journal about after, or some things to like reflect on. And that aspect of it really gave me something to integrate, which was very important, as opposed to just being in the session and then receiving like energy work and then like, okay, bye. No, it's more of a relationship and a conversation that was very effective for me.
Thank you. Were there any breakthroughs or aha moments that you will never forget?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest ones was, I would call it resentment that I was holding on with my father, that I was avoiding. There was a deep pain there, a deep trauma that I didn't even realize how much I was holding that. And to be able to come into contact with that and to be able to like heal through that, I think for me was a big like, wow, I didn't even know how much I was holding on to this, and I didn't know how much it was affecting me. And when I was able to move through that and heal through that and clear that and release myself from that, it really improved my relationship with not only him, but just like with men and with myself specifically, and being a father as well. So that was like one of the big, like, whoa, I didn't even know like I had that so deeply rooted, which to this day has helped me to have a beautiful relationship with my father, whom I just held a lot of resentment towards, and didn't have the compassion that I probably needed.
That's fantastic. I want to mention something very important here, that our parents, our archetypes, the male and the female, when we grow with one of those archetypes holding a lot of negative emotions, rage, resentment, judgment, rejection, we are rejecting the archetype. We're rejecting that aspect of ourselves, within ourselves. And that affects our lives tremendously. I have noticed over my years of career that every single man who had something inside that was holding resentment or rejection towards the male archetype, it manifests blockages in their career. In some way, we can have a career that goes up and down, but it's not steadily growing. Once you heal these wounds with your father and the male archetype, things tend to go continuously higher and higher and higher. And that's a very important element that once we are able to integrate those two aspects, our life is more complete because we are able to be at peace within ourselves with our two aspects as well. It makes us more complete. It makes us access parts of us that were inaccessible before. So I have noticed that in your life as well, from the distance, they how from that point it's been just growing, growing, growing in many ways, and things manifesting for you consistently, which it doesn't happen to people who are still blocked on that particular regard. So that's great. And thank you for sharing that because it reminded me this important comment that I wanted to share.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just like realizing the correlation there. And it was definitely, there was another aspect of my relationship with my father that I was able to kind of clear, that related specifically to my career. You know, he didn't really understand the path I wanted to, that I was on, and leaving we'll call it a societal norm job, real job, as he would say. Once you get a real job, and letting go of that expectation to truly live in my purpose was a key point in me being where I am today. So I'm glad you brought that up, because it was such a beautiful correlation. I remember once I let go of the expectations my dad had of me and decided to live in full, you know, in my truth, and to succeed in that, the path's open more for me, for sure.
Yes, it's like a law. It always goes that way. I have seen it many times, and you're not the exception. Now, the next question, what can you say it has changed in your life since beginning this journey?
I think the thing that's changed the most is, I would say, is the awareness of being responsible for me and my energy. You've always taught me to have energetic hygiene, and not only that, to have energetic hygiene with the energies around me, but also to like clean up the energies within me. And that would helped me to take responsibility for my own energy, my own emotions, and not project them, or at least have the awareness when I am doing that, to come back to self and be like, oh, like what part of me is it that's being triggered, or that is having this reaction. And that was very much learned through our work together. It's something that I hold to great value in my life to this present day, because yeah, just, things still show up, right? But to have that awareness and to have take that responsibility is what allows me to grow and allows me to get ahead.
It is very important, especially when we're choosing life path that is connected with the spirituality, holding a space for others. It's very important that integrity as healers or guides, because we need to understand that we are a channel, and whatever energies we're holding inside, in some way, we're going to project. And you don't want to project a confusing energy. You don't want to project a dense energy as to somebody who is vulnerable, open, or confused in a difficult time. So it's a really very important aspect to be aware of. I have seen through my lives of career, my years of career, a lot of people who are doing any type of healing work, but they are not fully aware of this. Our bodies are our vessels, and as you were saying, the energetic hygiene is so important. They're still attached to negative feelings, anger, resentment, revenge, judgment, things like pornography, things like not having clear sexual connection with one partner, or if you need to have a break while you are waiting for your next soulmate, things like that. The energy is very important, and also in terms of the intention. I noticed that you are more detached now from your results, that you trust more in your work, that you know that what you're doing with your heart is going to help, and those who resonate will come, and those who doesn't resonate will continue seeking for the person that fits better with them. So in that detached approach, definitely you will not congest your energy with karmic energies or sick energies, because you are just giving what you are open to share. You're not open to share your vital force. You're not open to take on karmic energies from clients in the process. So it's a really a beautiful thing to see in a healer or a guide, this understanding, because a lot of people who are doing energy work, I have noticed they are not fully clear, and that affects their energy in their personal life, but also the people that work with them as well. So congratulations on that. I think it's one of the most important things to understand in this path. and that will ensure that people feels in you that sense of integrity and commitment to your path. And because it's you can lie to others, but you cannot lie to yourself. Your energy speaks for you. So very important to know that aspect. Now, in terms of your health, your relationships, or your connection with your purpose, what shifts have you seen in general?
I mean, everything has improved for and I think it's just having the greater awareness. Each one of those things is so complex and so many layers to it. But again, just on the health side, it's like being very honoring my health, not putting putting things into my body that are not healthy. You've shown me it through your own practice and through your own life how important it is to stay clean, with your body, to not, put in substances and stuff like that. On the energetic level as well, like being mindful of the energies that I'm around. In my relationships, the importance of who I'm sharing my energy with, vital life force with, that has really, shifted me. Like I remember when I met you, I was not certain what my who my future partner was. I had gotten out of a relationship that was pretty toxic, and we had a child together, and it left me pretty wounded. It left me pretty confused, and I remember specifically around like the energetics around it, and how I needed to clear space to be with myself, to be with my own energy, to understand my own energy. So you taught me that as well, which is super important for me, and has helped me to manifest my partner today, who we share a beautiful life together, and definitely the love of my life. And I've never felt this way about anyone ever before. And so that has really helped to shape my relationship life, and being honest with myself and with the partners I was with, to part ways when needed to parting ways, and manifesting the woman that I'm here to do life with. And yeah, in regards to like in my purpose, there was a specific session that you had shared with me, a contract that was carrying around, and this could be another one of those aha moments where I was like, oh yeah, I can't, like, I didn't realize I was holding that, was the belief that I needed to please everyone. Like I do be liked by everyone. I need like that my service. I had to go above and beyond to ensure that every participant liked my meditation, or my breath work, or my sound healing, or whatever. And that brought me into a clear sense of, my purpose is like to be of service, to create a safe space, and to trust that whoever's going to receive the medicine is going to receive it, and whoever is not, they're not going to receive it, and that's okay. I don't need to hold on to that added pressure of like, oh, they need to like me, like they need to have this profound healing experience. It's like that took me away from being present with myself, and the space I was creating. So that was a big thing for me in my purpose, and that's still something that I draw from to this day, to stay in my center, and to trust in what I'm sharing is going to reach the right people, and it's and who it's not meant to reach, that's okay too.
That's fantastic. Thank you. What would you say to someone who is curious about this type of healing but hesitant?
I would say, how does hesitancy support you in where you want to go? And in life, we have to try stuff. We have to try something. We take a risk, and we have to kind of bet on ourselves, and trust that what you're saying yes to is there to teach you something. And regardless, if you don't say yes and you're continuously being hesitant, say no, that is going to teach you something, that a lesson that's going to take a lot longer to learn. And again, that doesn't mean that we have to say yes to everything, because in a sacred no is going to bring you to a more sacred yes. But if you're being drawn to something, if you know there's something that you want to explore, or there's something that is beyond your scope, or there's that this work can actually support you, to meet that hesitancy with, I see you trying to keep me safe. I see you trying to keep me comfortable. I see you trying to keep me in my little box, but we're here to grow and expand. And in order to do so, we need to move through that hesitancy and take a chance.
That's great. Thank you. So, what kind of advice would you give to someone who is feeling emotionally or spiritually blocked?
To be curious as into why you are being blocked. What I mean by that is to be curious around what is preventing you from feeling the feeling, and connecting to spirit, what is getting in the way, and whatever that is, to meet that thing with compassion, to meet it with love. Because very often what we're avoiding, or maybe what we're scared of, to connect to spirit, it's like, oh, maybe that scares you, or to connect to an emotion that is there, but you're afraid to go there, the fear of it actually weighs more than meeting it itself. And that blockage is hindering who you're here to be. And it is so liberating to actually meet that and go through that.
Yes, there is a little process that once we decide to go for it, I have noticed in myself, and people have shared with me many times, there is this energy of resistance. And we have to be aware that the resistance sometimes can be so powerful that can even manifest situations, events that can be block you from receiving the support or the healing. Like, for example, not going to the appointment because you fall asleep, or having a little car accident, or getting lost and not finding the place. In many cases. So it's important to put that intention. I'm going to try this, I'm going to do this. And because you're battling with other subconscious aspects, know that you are prevailing your intention right now. The present time is what prevails. No matter what is in the background, no matter what is subconsciously playing against that decision, is important, because only you can take yourself from the blockage state into a place where things are unfolding. But that space sometimes activates these different emotions, especially resistance. So I wanted everybody to be aware of this, because it happens to almost all of that. Even me, I was talking about the other day, after many years of healing, we were talking about an aspect from my childhood that I've been working, but she was presenting to me a perspective that I was not aware of, and she knows me very well. So just by hearing her voice telling me these things, I could feel in my body some tension. I could feel in my legs, the temperature felt very cold, my feet were very cold. So I felt, okay, this is something important. My body is somehow resisting it. And, sometimes even we can manifest yawning and feeling sleepy, or even again distracted and not listening. Those are different ways that parts of our subconscious are trying to block you from being able to move forward into that uncomfortable aspect of your shadows. So just wanted to mention this, because I think it will prepare everybody for when that moment comes. You have a little reference point and you will not be confused. So thank you, Dane, for that response. It was very, very important.
Can I add some?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Yeah, there's the hesitancy, like you said, like, there's a hesitancy to do it, and then once you say yes, the resistance comes, the excuses, the mind starts, the anxiety, and that's like almost happens every time.
Yeah.
Even to someone that's done this before. I think about, like, when people come to sit with me in plant medicine, it's like once they say yes, the medicine already starts working with you. And it's like, say, once you say yes to an appointment like this,
Yeah.
it's like spirit already starts working with you. And it's like, oh, are you sure you want to do this? Oh, are you ready to open up this, thing? So I see it all the time too. And I always tell people, I'm like, expect this to happen. And when it does happen, know that it's normal. Know that, it's just things already working with you. And yeah, so I just wanted to say that, because
Thank you for confirming that in your own experience as well. Now, the next question, how could you describe the way I work in your own words?
the way Roberto works is creating a very clean space energetically, very clean and grounded space for people to enter into, for people to kind of remove armor and masks to enter humbly into Roberto's presence. And so he works in a way that creates that environment, that creates that space in the physical space and in the energetics of the space that he's holding for people. He serves as I feel like he serves like as a like he kind of puts his humanness to the side and just allows himself to be open to source, to spirit, to his guides, his energetic support systems. And I feel like he does it without judgment. And I would say the way Roberto works as well is like really creating unbiased feedback and allowing the person to really find the answers from within. And with gentle nudges and questions, helps to kind of steer you into coming to the answer that's coming from within. So Roberto has a really cool way of that, especially when you're in the trance and you're sometimes there is a subconscious blockage or hesitation that Roberto gently guides you through it without it being too overpowering, or like he doesn't push you into anything. He just gently guides. So I feel that that's how Roberto works, and it really helps to extract the things that are necessary to get to in those sessions.
Thank you. That's a beautiful way to how we do the sessions. Now, just finishing this beautiful interview, is there anything else you would like to share from your heart to anyone watching this video?
Yes, what I would say is this is not something that is new. This is not something that Roberto has kind of, jumped on to like as a. I feel like Roberto has been a bit of a pioneer in creating this space for people. And when you come into contact with someone that has been walking this path for this amount of time and that it does so with so much authenticity and integrity, it's truly a special thing to come across people like Roberto. And when you come across someone like Roberto, it's for a reason. And it's because you're ready to go, deeper, or you're ready to peel back another layer, or you're ready to expand into the version of you that you're here to be. And in the world that we live in, it's important that we can liberate ourselves and to meet those parts of ourselves that are holding us back. And when you have a coach, a mentor, whatever label you want to call Roberto, it's truly something you don't want to pass up, because there's something there that's going to take you to the next level. And I'm very grateful that I've done that work with Roberto, and I will continue to do work with Roberto. We've been doing sessions. We haven't done one in a while, but I'm called. It's time, and that's the beautiful thing. He meets you where you're at in this version of you, and that's a wonderful thing to continue to have someone on your team, someone in your corner that gets it from where he gets it from. And people have their chiropractor, have their massage therapist, or have their therapist, but someone that works in the way that Roberto does is truly special, and it's definitely someone you want on your team. So someone that's watching this and feels like you need a Roberto in your life is probably because you do. And that's a good thing, because we're blessed to have him here still on the earth. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I want to thank you, Dave, for your time and sharing this beautiful journey with our audience. It is being an honor for me to walk this path with you. And I want to say to everybody watching this video, what really inspired me from Dane is that brave spirit, that openness and willingness to go through the discomfort of different situations and blockages and traumas and limitations, because it's easy just wait 30 years, 40 years and just being the same person. But he had this warrior inside, that the spirit that he wanted to face the shadow and start doing this transformation. And he has become this amazing young man who now is having a beautiful family, supporting a beautiful community, and also fulfilling his life purpose, which is really make me very happy about my work, having these examples, this experience with people like that. So again, thank you. From the distance, I've been observing your journey and been very happy to see you flourishing and expanding. And of course, you're continuing to expand, and I'm looking forward to see what else is coming from you. So for everybody who's watching this video, thank you for watching the video. And at the end, I will post Dane's contact information if you are curious about his work and offerings. He's based in Toronto, but he's also offering spiritual retreats with plant medicine in Costa Rica. So, I will put the information there in case you want to explore his amazing. Also, I want to invite you to follow me on social media as Playa So Bad in all the main platforms. On my YouTube channel, I'm sharing meditations and content that can be inspiring and informative related to your spiritual growth and energy aspect, but also these beautiful stories that can inspire others to start their own journey in the best way they feel, with whoever they feel is important to do it. So a big hug to everybody, blessings to all. And again, Dane, it's been a pleasure to reconnect with you. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.